So in this video, it's all about cap ships. We're going to be talking about adding subsystems and adding and replacing turrets. So you can see I have the Dymos parallax object file in front of me right now, and I also have the Dymos open up in the ships table. And if you're really good, you will notice that one of the subsystems is missing. The weapons subsystem is missing. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the weapons subsystem, and then afterwards we're going to replace one of the Deimos' turrets. So let's go ahead and add the weapons subsystem first. Now, the subsystems that you select the Deimos Corvette with and then press S, and then you could see those different subsystems: communications, navigation, weapons, engines. Those subsystems are special points. So in order to add a special point, you have special points selected in PCS2, and then you press yellow. And then you'll see that you have a new special point, but it doesn't really have a name that's appropriate. So under name on the right, name it money sign weapons. And then that is the appropriate name. Now, you can't see the weapon subsystem because, like glow points, special points have a radius. So on the right here, change the radius to 100, and you could see the where it's located. And all you gotta do from here is move it to where you want the weapon subsystem to be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move it any old place. Let's say here, and then change the radius to something appropriate, like, I don't know, 40. And there you go. There's where the new weapon subsystem is located. Now you need a table reference to match your parallax object file. So in order to know what to do, what to enter for your table reference, you go to the Bible. You go to the Freespace Wiki, and then you type subsystems, and then you can get this page. Actually, I'll include this in the description. So all you need to add a subsystem is you need the name of the subsystem, the first entry, the next number, will be the whole percentage of the entire ship. So the Deimos has however many hull points. 5% will be 5% of the total hull points. Okay. And then this last number here is the rotation speed. And basically, unless it's a turret, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So in the tables, I'm going to add the weapon subsystem. So subsystem, the name of it, which has to match the parallax object file, minus the money sign, of course. And let's say we want it to be 6% of the total hull of the ship, and because rotation time doesn't matter, we'll say 0.0. And that's all there is to it. You've just added a weapons subsystem. But there is one more thing to do. You have to, in paths, select paths and then click autogen. And what that does is paths are how the AI understands the subsystems so that it can appropriately attack them. So make sure that after you create special points, just click paths and click autogen. Alright, now the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to replace one of the Deimos' turrets with a turret from another ship. And the ship that we're going to replace it with is the Phoenix Rising. This is a very detailed model made by Esarai, so I recommend you pick it up. I'm actually going to put a link to it in the description, but it is a really good example if you look at all the sub-objects of how to make a parallax object file correctly. So if you're ever confused how the hierarchy works, I suggest you look at a ship that does it right, like the Phoenix Rising. Okay, So we are going to replace turret 3 in the Deimos with this turret 1 base on the Phoenix Rising. And in order to do that, the first thing we have to do is delete the turret 3 from the Deimos. So you select detail 0, you select turret 3, and then you press the red button. And then it says, are you sure? And you say, yeah, we're sure. Okay, now it says the sub-object has children. What that means is that turret 3 is a multi-part turret being on the top of this Deimos here. So its children are the turret arms. So wherever the base goes, the arms follow. That's all that means. So we want to delete that as well. We want to delete everything. And notice from the previous video, I mentioned that turrets are listed in the sub-objects as well as the actual turrets in the hierarchy. So you have to make sure both of those match. So you have to make sure the sub-object matches the turret, matches the tables. Okay, we'll see how that all works. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And now you can see that this back dorsal mounted turret has been removed. Okay, so now we want to add the Phoenix Rising's turret. So in order to do that, select any turret under detail 0 and click the load button. And then I have Phoenix Rising in our mod, so I'm going to open that, and then it's going to ask me which sub-object do you want to import. And so I'm going to go to that turret 1 base that we wanted to import. And then does it say you want to import the associated turrets? Yes, because we want everything to match. Import the paths? Yes, we want everything to match. And import the children? We want to import the arms, otherwise it's not going to be much of a turret, so yes. And then we see that we have turret 1 base, but it's alone. This is where hierarchy matters. You have to make sure that the right things are under the right details. So we want this turret 1 base to be rendered with detail 0. So in order to do that, you click turret 1 base and you drag it under detail 0. And now you will see that the turret is sort of sticking out of the back. It's part of detail 0 because it's under detail 0. Okay, that's really important. All right. Now, the turret 1 base doesn't match the name of turret 3. And if you run this in FSO, you will throw an error. You have to make sure everything matches, right? So I'm talking about turret 3 right here. The name has to match. So in order to do that, you just rename it. So I'm going to rename this turret 03, and that should do it. Now notice some things here about the turret. Just some general information about turrets. You've got that it's a subsystem. Its field of view is 180 degrees, which means that it imagine a hemisphere that opens off the top of the ship. That's the field of fire for the ship. That's the extent to which the turret can turn. And notice that it is also a gun turret. So that means that it fires primary weapons, basically. Missile turrets have a different set of rules that they operate by. So make sure that you give it the appropriate name. And the last thing I want to talk about before we take this to another video is how turrets should be oriented. You notice on the Phoenix Rising that the top turrets are facing forward and the bottom turrets are facing backwards. That's the default position for your turret. And then you'll notice for turret 01, just looking at turret 01, we got turret, and then we've got turret 01 base, and these fire points, they're sticking straight up, just at the ends of the arms. So that's your default position for your multi-part turrets. And that's all I want to say in this video. In the next video, we're going to complete importing this turret. and then I have some final thoughts about debugging. So that's in the next video.